smart old mother coyote was using every gully and coulee she could find to hold up the pursuing posse. Rough ground wasn't going to delay these fellas for long. Wherever the quarry went, they were raring to follow. What they didn't know, though, and what the young coyote wasn't about to advertise, was that the last bullet had nicked him in the hind leg. He'd have to rest a bit and catch his breath before going on. This seemed a crazy business, this bounty hunting. All that wild shooting and nothing to show for it. Then he heard a sound that kind of puzzled him. Well, now, what was a man to do with a helpless critter like this? Maybe it was the pup spirit, the stare you down square in the eye look. Whatever it was, the next thing the old Navajo knew, he was toting the youngster back home, not really having any idea what he'd do with him. It was just that the little fellow was down on his luck and needed help. In country lonely as this, you sort of have to do your own doctoring at times. And now Delgado cooked up a special brew of his own devising, secret formula. Private stock. It was powerful, potent stuff, good for man or beast. And guaranteed to snatch your breath away. Well, sir, somewhat to the old man's surprise, that pup took to it like it was his mother's own milk. Cure you or kill you, he didn't seem to mind which. In a few days, the pup was himself again, chipper and curious and friendly as they come. A coyote is like that. Show him a little kindness, and he'll meet you more than halfway every time. Like all young'uns, this one's main interest seemed to be in something to eat. Delgado let him have whatever he wanted, for it was good to have a dog around again, or a sort of a dog. The old man figured maybe he ought to have a name of some kind, so he called him Concho Número Dos, Concho number 2, and gave him his own spot by the fire. was fine. But Concho had it figured that if you were going to throw in with a man, partners, you ought to stick close to him. Just about as close as you could get.
Stay tuned. Walt Disney Presents will be right back.
Luke's world is that of a typical boy.
Good night, Grandma.
But some witches and a magic potion are about to make his world a little bigger.
Whoa! Remember, from now on, we've got two enemies, humans and cats. Oh, no.
This is going to be difficult.
Hello, Dad.
Catch the Witches, Tuesday at 7, 6 Central, followed by the never-ending story on Magical World of Disney.
Good night, Grandma.
Ever wonder how Disney dreams become reality? It's something called Imagineering.
Disney presents with Tom Morrow 2.0.
Any questions?
Who gets to be first to ride a new ride?
Well, it sort of depends on when you consider the ride a ride. Come on! Okay, listen closely. It's not really who rides first, it's more like what rides first. They start by strapping in sandbags or water dummies to make sure everything's A-OK. Then, ride engineers and programmers go for a test spin. Then project workers and their families give it a try. Then other Disney cast members. And finally you, the public. But there are some people who get to ride rides even before they're built. This is Mike Lentz, and this is...
Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith, an attraction at the Disney MGM Studios that takes you on a wild limo ride through the world of rock music.
When did you first ride this puppy?
Actually, I feel like I've been riding it for years in computer models, at the manufacturing plant, on the prototypes of the limousine test vehicle, and finally, the finished ride.
There you have it, Matthew. If you want to be the very first to ride a ride, all you got to do is design one.
Find out more about Imagineering at www.zoogdisney.com, part of Go Network.
See you next time on Disney's
Imagineer that!
And now, back to Walt Disney Presents, right here on Disney.
In the days that followed, young Concho watched everything that went on. Not always catching the why of things, but curious anyhow. Of course, he didn't know much about the Indian way.